Welcome to the B&T Sports Talk Show. Thank you for joining us on this wonderful Sunday evening, Sunday, May 28th, just so you know it's live. I am here with B. I, of course, am T. And if this is your first time listening to us, please go ahead and give us a subscribe. If you're subscribed to us, then go ahead and hit that notification button. Hit the like button as well. It really, really helps us out. We're pushing our video out there. And yeah, let's get into it. So a bit of a meh weekend sports outside of what's going on in the NBA. So we're gonna jump in and try to add a little bit of flavor to this week. B, first of all, man, how are you feeling? How are you doing?
Oh, I'm feeling good, man. Got a 3-day weekend. Happy Memorial Day. Thank you to all the veterans who make this possible.
Absolutely.
A lot of the things that we could do in this world are, it's what I guess makes this country great, to say the least. And so all of our veterans who have sacrificed everything they've done to make sure that we can enjoy a day like tomorrow with barbecue, fishing, spending time with our families, whatever the case may be, it's that. So thank you to all the vets if you are watching.
Absolutely. And I hear that a certain Mama Birdie is flown the coop. Where is she?
Yeah, I would say she's not flown. She sailed the coop. She's on a 10-day cruise to Alaska. She's in the middle of the ocean right now. This is like, I would have never expected my mom to do it, but she got the courage to say yes, so she's enjoying herself. Good. She's probably having all the drinks in the world,
bottles,
and
sure. Yeah.
Oh, she ain't got me to do it, so someone's got to do it for her.
Hey, man, they've got bartenders out there. They can help her pop a bottle.
Oh, for sure. Oh, absolutely.
Awesome. Well, then enjoy, Mama Birdie. All right, well, let's jump into it. I'm going to start with the game that was the game of all games yesterday. We picked the Heat to win, and now we're starting to look stupid. The Heat came out on fire, went up 3-0. I know most folks know the story. No team has come back from a 3-0 lead in the playoffs. And here come the Celtics winning 3 straight games. Topping it off with a game last night that could have went either way. Although the Celtics had a lead at times in the third, and then in the fourth, the Heat kept coming back. The Heat at the very end managed to get the lead, and then a last-second tip-in by Derek White seals the deal for the Celtics and pushes this to a historic Game 7. So, B-Man, I'm hoping you got a chance to catch the replay or at least watch the last. Well, I think we were texting back and forth. So, the last 4 to 5 minutes of that game. Yeah, dude. I gotta say, man, this has the feelings of, although hopefully people are watching this. This has the feelings of a lot of NBA magic. I know you obviously watched when the Warriors were able to come from a 3-1 deficit against the Oklahoma City Thunder, and how great of a game that was. The big Game 6 for, I believe it was Klay Thompson, and these are the type of moments that define teams as they move forward. So. Let's get into it, man. What the heck happened? So the Heat are on top. How did they manage to give this thing away after having 3 straight closeout games? What's going on?
I honestly, man, I can't answer any of those questions because that game was like a novella soap opera on Telemundo, man. There were so many emotions in the game. The Celtics grabbed a big lead. Decided to go away from everything. Jason Tatum went quiet for a little bit, to say the least. The role players for the Heat brought him back into that game because Mr. Jimmy Butler has been a little quiet over the last couple games here. But dude, you can't ask for a better game. And Boston was up 13 with like 3 minutes left, and you figured they would know how to close a game out with all this experience, and then. Al Horford, you got Jimmy Butler cutting into the corner, his momentum taking him away from the basket. Why are your hands even around him at all? Like, he's got to put up a tough shot. So it just goes straight up with it. His hands got caught in the cookie jar. It was the right call to be made, too, for the foul. Yeah. But, dude, we were texting each other when Jimmy Butler was on that free throw. I guarantee you, man, you could not slide a credit card down his ass. He was so damn tight
actually, who
man.
was tighter was
Woo!
the two wide open 3-pointers that were left for Duncan Robinson, who wanted no part of knocking down those shots, man. He had
and he missed badly in those two shots.
It's a lot of pressure.
Nowhere close.
Nobody was guarding him. He caught the ball, I believe, off an offensive rebound. I think in the ball went to him. He was wide open. They didn't get out to him in time. He had all day to bounce the ball, think about it, think about life, and apparently that's what he did, because when he shot the ball, it was off. The second one was a little questionable. They didn't let a lot of time go off the clock.
Oh yeah.
And the guy just fired it. And that extra time they left on the clock ultimately would cause some problems at the end of the game, because that 0.3 seconds is what made it. Even if Marcus Shot happens to take that shot just a smidgen later, a half second later than he did,
it's a different story.
The game is over and the Heat advanced to the West. And that's what you mean by the drama in this game, it going back and forth, and just knowing that the other team is not going anywhere. That's how the Heat have played all season. It's definitely even more so within the playoffs. And man, that was one of those big heavyweight, I take a shot, you take a shot, last man standing type games, and somehow the Celtics managed to pull it out, man. I think a lot of what's going on, man, is the Celtics have finally found their offensive rhythm. And a lot of that's been Marcus Smart has actually been a positive for them.
You don't say that often.
No, you don't, because dude is real Jekyll and Hyde on offense, man. Like he can either shoot you out of a game, or he can make some huge. I mean, the amount of confidence that Marcus Smart has is unbelievable. He takes some shots where you'll be like, huh? But when he does get into a rhythm,
what you doing?
He takes some Jordan Poole like shots, except he plays defense. That's the difference. And so
that is
he had 2 threes he hit in the fourth of that game that really helped the Celtics keep a little bit of a lead going down the stretch, even though they gave it back on that foul you talked about. And he's been fairly consistent the past 3 games. The guy who just hasn't showed up at all and still really has been a no-show has been Al Horford. And I think the Celtics really need other guys to step up, because Al Horford was such a big part of what they did in that run last year to the finals. And dude's been averaging like 8 points or something. I don't think he's only been in double digits maybe 1 or 2 times this entire series. And so guys like Marcus Smart have been stepping up. He had a big game last night. He had 21. Of course, Tatum has been tearing it up. Tatum had 31 last night.
Over the last 4 games. He's been on fire.
Yeah, and so I think the difference has been the other guy stepping up, that being Smart. Grant Williams has played a little better, had a better game last night. And Jaylen Brown finally getting into the mix. He looked pretty bad the first 2 to 3 games. He's finally gotten into an offensive rhythm, and now we're starting to see the team that we saw most of the regular season. And
I would even say into last year's team as well. They've been so inconsistent this postseason, and we've talked about it all playoffs. The hardest game to win is that closeout game, right. And there is no one on Miami's team outside of Jimmy Butler with any experience on closing a series out here. Because when you look at guys on the court like Bam Adebayo, Colby Martin,
Caleb
am I saying it right?
Caleb
Martin, and who's the other guy?
Gabe Vincent.
Gabe Vincent. No experience closing games out.
And Duncan Robinson. Duncan Robinson, who also couldn't close the game out because he had the 3.
Bro, like I said, you could tell who's more calm under pressure. Dude, the shots he was taking were rushed when they didn't have to be. That wide open 3, he literally could have taken a rhythm dribble and shot it. He ran and just said, "Let it rain." Shot it right off the back of the backboard, man. But you got to give credit to the Celtics for staying calm and taking it 1 game, 1 minute at a time in this series here, because let's be honest, I was like, the Heat are going to take this, and we've been riding with them. And now I was like, well, damn, now this is about to come to the end. That championship pedigree is showing for the Celtics, and the Jason Tatum we've been waiting for, he's delivering now. but it's all going to come down to it tomorrow night. Is what is Tatum going to? Tatum is got to have a big night, one for the ages here. This is how you solidify your stepping stones to greatness here, because a lot of guys don't have a chance to make a name for themselves in Game 7. He's got this opportunity tomorrow night to do that. We just got done talking about Curry dropping 50 in a Game 7, and it took the NBA by storm. For what he did. But he was already above that echelon. Jason Tatum's working his way there. He's trying to get that ring, and this is how you start signing. Like, this dude's built for the postseason. That's what you want to hear.
And am I losing my mind, or is he's a lot bigger than I thought he was?
Dude,
did he grow since he's been in the league? Because
he got this past season when he put on a lot of muscle. The NBA drug tested when the photos started leaking out. Go look it up. But the NFL started leaking out photos, or NBA, when the photos got out that Jason Tatum was putting muscle on, they instantly drug tested him, man. I was like, the guy's putting in work, and this is what we're accustomed to now. But dude got pretty buff over the last.
He got some shoulders
over the last season or so, man.
He's a big dude out there. Yeah, man. I mean, I saw him standing next to Al Horford, and I was wondering, wait a minute, what just happened? But anyway,
right?
Like, what just happened?
It's crazy, but this had the chances of being a great series, and I think last night's game just really, really solidified everything here.
Yeah, I mean,
the Heat had 2 opportunities to shut the Celtics down, and they did not take advantage of it. I'm not even including Game 5 because you got to figure a team having their potential last home game is going to come out. So you had Games 4 and 6 to put the nail in the coffin, and now you're going up to Boston, and we all know how that environment is up there.
It's no joke, man.
For a Game 7?
It's no joke.
That's going to be some wild stuff.
Yeah, and we have to talk about the fact that one of the things that's ailing the Heat is they just haven't gotten the amount of consistency from their stars, between Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo. We expected those guys to kind of be a little bit more consistent throughout, but Jimmy Butler had a pretty strong game. Pretty strong Game 4. Was it Game 4? Yeah, Game 4. But after that, it kind of fell by the wayside. I mean, he had 29, and then Bam had 10. Gabe Vincent had 17. Kevin Moore had 16. And, they're just going to need a little bit more from him. And then the rest of the games, I mean, he had 14 in Game 5, and he had 24 in Game 6.
A lot of those were at the free throw line, though, because he was at 13 points in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
So a lot of that he lived at the free throw line.
Yeah, and Bam had 11 points. So, he's just they really haven't gotten their, we'll call them stars, because this really has just been a team of guys, to be honest with you. But the guys this is why the stars get paid the big bucks, right? This is why everybody makes all this hoopla, and you have all these dark horse teams. People talk about in the beginning. About 2-3 years ago, it was, I really like the Utah Jazz. They're a nice little team. I really like the Timberwolves. They're a nice little. But when you don't have actual stars win you games in the playoffs. Everybody knows that, and that's how the NBA works. So if you don't have those guys, if those guys don't step up when needed, and then it's just not going to work out for you. And I think that's kind of where the Heat are. The game plan they had, I think, was great coming in, just outplay and outwork the other team. But when the other team's playing at the same level you are, the difference is going to be how much talent is there, and that's what we're seeing. The Celtics' talent, we know, position for position is better than what the Heat have to offer. So they're just playing at a higher level and taking advantage of the skill level that they have with the team that they have.
Is it Derek Williams? Derek Williams, right?
Who are we talking about? The center?
On the Celtics.
Well, they got 2 Williams.
No.
They got 2 of them.
The other Williams.
Grant Williams?
Yeah, Grant Williams. Yeah. There it is. You notice he ain't been talking ever since he got Jimmy Butler all pissed off in Game 2.
Well, he learned his lesson.
You ever notice that?
He learned his lesson.
Yeah, he's been pretty damn quiet.
I mean, I would have thought everybody saw the whole Dylan Brooks experiment and just kind of shied away from the talking, honestly. But on the flip side, ever since Jimmy Butler did that timeout pose
in Game 3, or is it Game 3?
I think so. Yeah. It hasn't been going too well for him either.
dude, this is. I wouldn't be shocked if both Butler and Tatum both hit a 40 piece tomorrow night.
Yeah.
You gotta. These guys have to touch the ball
Yeah.
consistently.
And you're in Boston, so.
And it's in Boston too, dude. This is going to be so much fun tomorrow night. I'm not even a fan of either team, but this has been like, because we don't have to worry about watching Denver and LA. This has been a great, a really great series here. That was no jab at your team.
Well, I don't have to. I don't want to. Believe me, man. I would prefer they be here, but at the same time, it's always hard to text City. Whenever facing these things, I mean, you lived through the Sacramento series, so you know what it is.
Trust me, that was probably this series and the Warriors Sacramento series were probably right now the two best series we've had in the postseason. There, you got this, and these have been defensive struggles between the Heat and the Celtics because the Celtics have clamped down and really shut down the Heat.
Yeah.
In case where in the Warriors series, it was fast paced, it was up and down, it was chaotic.
Yeah.
So you're seeing two different styles of basketball take place, and whether you want to believe it or not, just look at the scores here. There's no 130 in this series here. It's 110 at most where the NBA where defense is being played. So it's been, dude, this has just been awesome to watch, man. I cannot wait for tomorrow's Game 7.
Yeah. Take the under is what I'll say. Game 7s, man.
Yeah, you did mention take the under. Let's. So you had the Heat in 7. Are you still sticking with it?
Man, that's tough. I'm gonna stick with my guns though because I'm a man of integrity. If I take the L, I take the L. But I did pick them to win in 7, so I'll just stick with that. Although I got to say the momentum appears to be on the side of the Celtics.
Yep. Well, my prediction is now gone to the wayside because the Heat were supposed to win it yesterday and decided not to.
They almost did though. In your defense,
they almost did.
0.3.
This is hard because Jimmy Butler has been consistent over this series, except for the last 2 games. Jason Tatum is hitting his stride, but Jimmy Butler's he's a dog, man.
Yeah.
He's gonna give it his all, and you're gonna see a heck of a matchup. I got to stick with the Heat. I'm not taking the Celtics, just because when Jason Tatum has an off night, everyone on that team will have an off night.
Yeah.
You saw the Heat kind of carry Jimmy Butler through through yesterday's game with their role players, but now this is basically Tatum versus Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, absolutely.
And who's going to dominate?
Absolutely.
By the way, the over/under is 203.5.
Oh wow, that's low. Okay, that's pretty low.
What are they expecting? Brick on brick city, man?
203.
Damn.
102 to 101. That's what we're looking at here. I mean, I guess they're looking at the last game, but oh man, yeah, that's. I don't know, folks. I said take the under, but I thought the line would be a little bit higher than that.
Are 7.5 point favorites to win tomorrow night. That's how you go being 7.5 point favorites to 203.5. That don't make sense.
I guess it's going to be they're anticipating a 1990s matchup, man. Old school.
Dude, the physicality in this game too. Dudes are getting laid out in the paint. I absolutely love it. And I'm glad that the NBA refs in this series are slowing down the whistles. I think the refs have been pretty good in this series, to say the least. But
I think so.
The amount of physicality that is taking place in this series, I've enjoyed it, man. That's some old school, that like you said, old school throwback basketball. No one's got You've had a couple technicals, but this has been good to watch, man. They've been making it not easy to get into the paint.
That's what we need, man. After all the talk about referees in the Western Conference, let's get to some old school East Coast hard-nosed basketball because Lord knows I got tired of talking about referees, even though I'm about to segue us in here to a conversation about a referee. Oh, man.
Let's get into it.
So let's set this one up. So apparently Kevin Durant's been on the phone with referees and telling them that, hey, you know what you could do if you don't like what people talk about you? Create a burner account. And so a referee, Eric Lewis, longtime referee, 19-year referee, I believe, in the NBA,
so, yeah.
has been accused of or is suspected of using a burner account to, basically to comment on people who are criticizing him and other referees in the NBA. Go figure. So we got he's pretty much Batman. He's the Cape Crusader referee, going around and basically just commenting on people's comments, just to try to, I guess, attack people for criticizing refs.
Can you imagine him sitting in the dark, just
with his
on? He's got Twitter. He's got Twitter, all these social media posts up, and he's sitting in the dark, and he's just, he's looking to save the NBA referees one comment at a time.
That's right.
How do you get caught?
That call was correct. You're wrong. Yeah. I don't know what the point. I'm not sure what the point of it is. I think it's kind of comical that referees feel like they need to defend themselves to the public. I don't know if maybe do we put some. Referees are always the source of, getting bludgeoned by the fan bases to the the pundits on ESPN and radio shows, and they take a lot of slack. So I could kind of see a situation where one of the refs decide, I'm tired of this garbage, and decides he's just gonna go AWOL and just start MFing and cussing people out for talking about the refs and how they referee games. So I think it's an interesting story. To be honest with you, the worst that could come of this is Eric Lewis is going to get fined, and I doubt I don't know if he'll lose his job, but I'm pretty sure he'll have to pay some type of penalty. And
just imagine him having burner accounts and betting on NBA games.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the real concern is when we're talking about.
Oh man,
we're talking about. See, all this time we were worried about them rigging games, but really what was happening is they were too busy trying to defend themselves of how awesome they are as referees, and I don't know. It just seems.
You know what they should start doing? They should start putting the refs on the podium, like post game podiums, and have people interview the referees.
Yeah, man.
Can you imagine?
Terrible,
can you imagine a call that changed the series that wins another team the championship, and they got to go do an interview on why they made that call? I would suggest to do it away from any player locker room. We don't want any incidents taking place with emotions running high. But how crazy would that be if referees got a chance to do a post-game interview? I'd watch it. I want to know what was in. I want to know what was in your brain when you made that call.
Honestly, they should give the referees some type of. They should take away their identity. They should just be referee 1, 2, and 3. They shouldn't put their names on anything. Oh, they could even wear veils and face masks if they want to. I don't care. But I think one thing that the league does is kind of weird is we know all the referees' names and stuff, and I don't think that's really necessary. Honestly, these guys are out there just to call the game. We don't need to know who they are. I'm pretty sure they're tired of people attacking them every time they get a call that fan bases don't like. I'm sure some of these guys get death threats and all type of weird crap in certain circumstances. So I think maybe the league should think about not putting the names on everything. We don't need to know every name of every referee that plays in the NBA or umps in the MLB or whatever it is. So yeah, man.
And speaking of that, Josh, welcome to the show, Josh. Good to see you in here, Mr. Wu-Tang himself.
Okay.
All refs / umps should hold press conferences after every game to hold some accountability.
There you go. That's what you said.
Why not? Like I said, I think it'd be one of the greatest interviews. Can you imagine interview
after the Tuck rule?
And can you imagine?
Oh my god,
that'd be so great on the Tuck rule.
So I want to, So let me ask. So can you explain what the Tuck rule is? How many times have you called the Tuck rule?
Maybe. Yeah.
How's the Tuck rule?
When was this Tuck rule in place?
Exactly. At what point in the process, when he pulled the ball back, did you realize that it was a Tuck rule and not a fumble? So I could see refs being like, I don't get paid enough to do this, but I hear where you're coming from, just so people can get the accountability. But that's why I say it's better just to remove their identities altogether, because at the end of the day, they're just referees. And if they're out there...
They're just people, man.
Yeah, and then last thing we need is some referee getting, some weird referee, trying to eat up all of the sunlight and start wearing, a Hulk Hogan, rip-off shirt or
You can you can,
one of those big feathery lei things you used to put around them. You're just taking it all the way too far. You know what I mean? I don't want refs getting there cussing
just like
people out, and it'd be bad, man. It'd be really bad.
just like the NBA players have how ESPN does their pregame and you watch the players walk through the tunnel in their outfits. Can you imagine them giving that same treatment?
Yeah,
to
what the hell was James Harden? Did you see what Harden was wearing?
Oh my
He
god,
looked like
man.
he
I
looked
can't.
like what's the name of that big purple dude from McDonald's? What's his name?
Barney?
No, from McDonald's, the McDonald's character. What's his name? The big anybody in the chat help me out. Purple guy, whatever his name is.
Purple monster.
McDonald's.
McDonald's.
Yeah. What's his name?
I'll look it up.
Tell me.
What the fuck? Grimace.
Grimace. There you go. He looked like Grimace, man. He had some bell-bottom purple pants. Did you see that?
We got to do a post NBA year segment of fashion and just blast
serious?
NBA players.
Kyle Kuzma wore a sweater that had pant legs on the sleeves. They were like hanging down.
Did you see the?
I mean, obviously he didn't drive himself there with those sleeves on. I don't even know. Some of these guys and some of the ridiculous things that they wear. I mean, I don't get it, man. They be looking crazy as I don't know what.
Right.
Especially James Harden.
Wait, let's get into some retirement talk here. Honestly, I'm not buying this, but unfortunately, the rest of the media did. LeBron has been throwing some cryptic words out there, contemplating retirement, or at least just laying low for a year until his son is out of college, so he can get the opportunity to go play with his son. I'm not buying it.
Nope.
He's not retiring. Stop it.
He lives in L.A. His son's in L.A. Everything's in L.A. He's not gonna retire. He's gonna take the last $100 million of his deal and play the next couple seasons. So I don't see a situation where he's gonna actually retire. I think he will have surgery in the offseason and miss the first few games of the first month or so of the season. He's gonna do some load management finally. He's gonna take a little bit of Kawhi's magic. Start drinking alkaline water and only playing every other game, and try to see if that works out for him. I think LeBron wasn't healthy through most of the postseason. Maybe he felt a little tired and a little beaten, defeated after the Nuggets, series. But at the end of the day, man, that guy's not going anywhere.
Here's what I'm afraid of. I was really trying not to buy into it, but now I'm like, Jesus Christ, this could actually happen. Obviously, LeBron is towards the latter end of his career. It's facts. There's a couple of players up north, I would say, that are in the latter ends of their career as well. We've seen Carmelo Anthony go join him in Los Angeles to play a season. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of chatter about him going to Golden State.
How?
The Warriors have the fourth best odds to land LeBron
but how?
James.
You mean after his contract is up, or they're gonna trade?
I don't want to know. I don't want to hear about it. Right, when you look at who is around him most of the time, and him and Draymond are represented by the same
best buddies,
by the same agent. They're best buddies after Draymond violated him. They figure they have a relationship after that. Here's the other part. He has publicly gone out and said the one player he would love to play with, Steph Curry.
Yeah, that's all.
You know what I'm saying?
That's all posturing.
It's all chatter, but at the end of the day, he knows he's not going to make. He doesn't need to make more money now. He just needs to put a ring on his finger, right?
Yeah, but
well, why not go somewhere?
That's not going to happen.
Why not go somewhere where you?
It has to be a trade, man. What are they gonna? They're gonna trade. Y'all gonna trade? What are you gonna trade to the Lakers for them to feel like, oh yeah, this is a great? We'd have to have Klay Thompson. And what's his face? I mean, we can't give up. We can't give up all that, man. We can't give up LeBron.
Like I said, I wasn't trying to listen to all that, but the noise when there's multiple outlets talking
I got the
about
perfect
it,
trade for you.
Then it's like,
I got the perfect trade for you.
What?
I'll take a 3-way trade. Y'all, we'll take Klay Thompson, and we'll take what's his face?
Jordan Poole.
No, I don't know if no. 3-way trade. I'm sending Jordan Poole to Portland. I'm sending your draft pick to Portland. I'm giving you LeBron. I'm taking Dame Lillard, and I'm taking Klay Thompson. That's the only trade I'm interested in making.
Hell
After that,
no.
oh, see what I mean? See what I mean? It's not gonna happen. That's what I'm trying to tell you. It's impossible, man. It's stupid NBA idiots writing. I should write these stories. What the hell,
dude? But the fact that was a conversation though, like the whole Giannis, when someone mentioned about going to Golden State, Giannis smiled and whatnot. Like that didn't make much headline as much as this conversation is making headlines.
Who doesn't want to play with Steph Curry, man? I mean, it's just like it's one of those things, right? You see how a player is, you see what he can do. Obviously, it'd be great to play with him because Curry does a great job of making just because he can shoot the way he does makes it easier on everybody else on the court.
Yeah. And no, you're
right.
I
mean, I understand why people want to play with him. It's just you have to have two teams committed to making a trade that actually makes sense. And I don't see a situation where the Lakers are going to get what we want from because we still have Anthony Davis. Where we're going to get something we can still compete next year.
Well, yeah, that's your building piece now is Anthony Davis.
Well, yeah, we have to have something else because AD by himself is not going to be enough. We've already seen that. It's just not.
Okay, I don't want to talk about that no more. I'm just the fact that it was all week, dude. I was just like, dude, you gotta be kidding me, man. Where did these people get this information?
So let me hear. So the Warrior folks are actually touting this, like they're talking about this, like it's some type of reasonable.
No, major media outlets.
Really?
We're talking about this. I can't make, dude. Like,
I saw one article, but that was it.
AM shows on like FS1,
okay.
Cowherd or something like that. Dude, Colin was really diving into it. I'm just, dude, I don't want to think about it because the fact that if that happens, he's got to come here if he wants it. But
every Warrior fan is gonna have to swallow their pride if LeBron walks through the door in a Warrior uniform, man.
It's like the Niners hating Richard Sherman for all that time until they signed him, and then they were fans of his when he walked through the door. This is the same concept for the Warriors here. We've had the rivalry with LeBron over the last decade, to say the least, and now there's the opportunity. He could give us a couple years. Like I'm like, oh my God, this can't be happening. This not at this.
You got to give me that.
I don't want to discuss it anymore.
Lakers aren't getting that. Better be the deal of a lifetime. Anyway, speaking of, you were talking a little bit about the 49ers. So let's talk about an ex-49er. We're going to change position in sports here and talk about my Raiders, and we'll start there. And, I had some really critical comments about McDaniels as a coach. I don't really believe in him, don't like him. Last time he was a coach, he wasn't any good. Then he came back and quit before he even got a chance to start whenever he was supposed to take over for, I believe it was the Dolphins. And these Patriot guys, they love to stick with their guns. And they want to have the Patriot way on their team. And it just, So, of course, he went to go get Garoppolo, right? Because he's an ex-Patriot. Like, that means something. And sure enough, the same thing that's been happening with Garoppolo over the past 3 years is happening again. The guy had foot surgery in March, was not able or would not have been able to pass the physical. So now the Raiders had to but put a waiver in his contract, basically stating that they could cut him without even paying him. So the question is, what the hell are we doing? I mean, you.
First of all, how you alter a contract after it's already been signed? Because that wasn't in his contract. That doesn't make sense.
Because I'm sure it was in his contract to pass a physical in order to be on the field. And because he's not able to...
You can't add to it.
I don't know, but that's what the report said. Look, I'm just reading what it's telling me, all right? The guy, there's a waiver in his contract that they can literally cut him without any penalty. And a lot of that is due to the fact that he had an injury to his foot that he just had surgery on in March. So the guy had surgery in March. We're expecting him to get into... When did things kick up? August?
I would say July OTAs, August. Yeah, it's football's 2 months away.
So the expectation is that he will be the starting quarterback. He will be able to be in training camp and play with a team he's never played for. And we need him to have as many reps as possible, obviously, because he's new to the team. And now we
Yep.
don't know. Now it seems like the Raiders as an organization, they aren't even sure if the guy's going to make the field because they've had some waiver in there just to Jimmy G, just in case you're not able to play or you re-aggravate your foot injury, we want to be able to cut you without any cost to us. I mean that's insane, man. That is insane. This is supposed to be your starting quarterback.
This is happening 2 months before training camps or even OTAs, to say the least.
What the hell are they doing?
There's no quarterbacks on the market no more that you can really, sit there and say, "Oh, I got to go after him now." You know what I'm saying? The draft is over. You can't go get a quarterback in the draft now.
Oh
like,
my gosh. This is, I mean, dude, I don't even know how to describe this other than this is a steaming hot dumpster fire. I'm so tired of the Raiders' leadership and their organization from the top being so inept. Every time it comes time to make decisions, they do all these weird, wonky things to try to prove that the person in power, whether it be John Gruden or McDaniels now, that guy, he's the man and he has to show he's the man and it has to be a certain way. And just like John Gruden trading off Khalil Mack and Amari Cooper and we're going to play a certain stuff and then forgot to delete his email and got himself fired. Now we got this idiot in here. Sorry, now I don't want to call him names here. But we got McDaniels.
You just did.
Now we got McDaniels in here who is trying to get us to be the Patriots of old, which we all know will never happen. And signs Jimmy G, who we all know has the injury history. And how is any of this surprising? I think it's crazy. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Here's one guy you may be able to get out of retirement because he's already a minority owner of your franchise, and that is your boy, your favorite quarterback, Tom Brady, has stuck it to the Raiders and taken minority ownership. Now, that doesn't mean he's going to have a real big say in a whole lot of things, but this was interesting.
That just adds insult to injury. I don't know
much about it.
That just adds insult to injury. So not only are we this expatriate coach who gets this expatriate quarterback, but now another Patriot wants to come in and owns a stake of the Raiders. What are we? What are we doing? We're the Raiders. I mean, seriously.
The Las Vegas Patriots.
Exactly. We should be hating these guys. They should be nowhere near our facilities or anywhere near a Raider uniform. Get these idiots out of here. I don't want any more Patriot people. I don't want them. I don't like them. And and then Tom Brady, of all people, as minority stake. Well, you know what? That's first off, he's not going to change Mark Davis's haircut. Let's start there. Mark Davis is still going to walk around looking like his mom put a bowl on his head and just ran a razor around. Look, their ownership and their leadership again has been absolute garbage. We lost Darren. We lost our tight end. He's with the New York Giants. Hopefully, he doesn't have some stupendous season with them. And, we brought Devontae Adams in, but we're going to go get some quarterback who doesn't throw the ball over 20 yards because that's a great idea, right? It baffles me to no end, man. I don't know what they're doing. I'm at a loss, dude. I'm at a loss.
Should just stuck to Derek Carr.
Even if we didn't, there are better options than Jimmy G.
Well, there was.
There was, yes, correct.
Ship is sailed now.
Correct.
Y'all are in trouble, man. Dude. That sucks. You got the Patriot way just running through that locker room, like it's going out of style, man.
We got Bill Belichick's, his.
You got a delinquent running your show now.
Kids. Stupid, man. It's ridiculous.
Let's stay on the quarterback conversation here because this one is interesting. And Brock Purdy is getting ready to throw before training camp, to say the least there, which means all signs are a go for him to be ready for week 1 of the NFL. Let me ask you this, T. Was that surgery just drawn up to be more of a dramatic thing, to say the least? Because you don't start throwing after the surgery he had.
Yeah. Well, maybe the injury wasn't as bad as we all thought it was. I mean, in his defense, he did go out there and try to play a couple of reps, if you remember. It just didn't work out.
He couldn't throw
the ball. So I think, this is one of those situations where, you got good doctors. You went to the LeBron James of elbow doctors. and you go get that
Pretty
thing
much.
worked out. And you got to think about this, dude. Even if he weren't all the way 100, if you're Brock Purdy, this is one of your few opportunities to get paid. You got to remember, this guy was the very last pick in the draft. That means he's not getting paid diddly squat. I mean, he's not making a lot of money, guys. So this is his opportunity to shine, and you have to imagine everything in his willpower and everything you could think of is going to get him on that field, because Mr. Irrelevant playing in the playoffs and having an opportunity to compete, the only thing that stopped him was an injury. That guy, he definitely is going to have serious motivation to be back out there on the field to prove everyone wrong and to get the bag. So kudos to him. I hope he gets it done.
I wouldn't rush this at all if I was him, because like you said, he's going to get paid. And the Niners love what they saw from him.
Will he?
There should have been really no rush in this year to come back. Why? What happens if he gets hurt in the preseason?
He's going to get the 49er quarterback treatment and get replaced by the guy behind him, like everybody else does.
But that's what Sam Darnold got brought in for, was to provide that veteran's presence.
Oh God!
And then someone said that even Sam Darnold was probably the best thrower in the Niners locker room. Well, of course he is. Trey Lance isn't that accurate, and Brock Purdy's hurt. Yeah. So yeah, he's the best thrower because he's healthy.
Don't fall for that. Don't fall for that. Don't fall for that, Sam Darnold.
Don't fall for that stupidity, man. But all I'm saying is, look, I would be okay with Sam Darnold running the show for a little bit. He's not the greatest quarterback, but you had Jimmy G was able to run that offense. Yeah. I think Sam Darnold could do it.
He could.
Healthy. Just get healthy. Come back mid-season. You know what I'm saying? Supposedly this injury took 16 to 18 months for recovery, and you're going to do it in 3? Something doesn't make sense. It just doesn't add up.
I don't know, man. He's got superpowers, man. How else can he be Mr. Irrelevant and play in meaningful playoff games? Oh, man.
That's true, too.
Well, let's transition. We got another, we get to this time of year and we got a lot of these old fogies hanging around that need new teams.
These old fogies.
DeAndre Hopkins happens to be one of them. Not to say that DeAndre Hopkins is not a productive wide receiver, but he's definitely one of those guys you need to put with a very, you want to put with a veteran quarterback who can get some things done. And I think that's what they're going to be looking to do. So for those who don't know, DeAndre Hopkins got released from the Cardinals, right? Cardinals. And
Arizona Cardinals.
Obviously their quarterback situation is set, but it's not on the timeline for DeAndre Hopkins. They're still they got a quarterback who's pretty young, who's trying to figure a few things out, and who's really been Jekyll and Hyde. He's been up and down, even through a season has been up and down, and injured too. So I saw some reports about him being considered, or there were some trades in the works prior to him being released from the Bills and the Chiefs, who are trying to get him. Now that he's released, I can see him going to either one of those teams, especially the Chiefs, who really, after Juju McSchuster has exited, are going to need some type of wide receiver, a veteran wide receiver to take over, really just to get first downs and make plays down, make those 5 to 10 yard catches that they're known for. Do you see?
Come to Baltimore.
Do you see? Oh, okay.
Come to
Baltimore. I was about to say. I mean, your team doesn't have any wide receivers. Who'd you guys pick up?
Hold on.
Who'd you guys pick up?
Stop it.
Who? Oh, okay. All right.
It's a deep threat. I do it. You don't have to worry about his contract because Arizona's got to eat that. Yeah. That's a $22 million contract you ain't worried about.
Released him. Yeah, that's on them. I don't know why they didn't trade him.
They released him. You got a mobile quarterback who is ready to go. Hopefully in Lamar Jackson, he's ready to go. But
I tell his mama to cook.
You want to get a man weapons? I take that in a heartbeat. There's a lot of teams that would love to have DeAndre Hopkins, and he's not washed up. He was just in a bad place where a quarterback cannot get him the ball. Right. He's got to go somewhere. I mean, look, I'm just going to say because it's my team. Baltimore, go get him.
Yeah, I would say the Raiders, but since we're running the Patriots offense, we probably won't be throwing the ball much at all. So we'll see how it goes.
You guys don't even have a quarterback to throw the ball to.
There's that too. I anticipate a lot of tight end screens and It's so stupid.
We have a tight end.
We do. We have two blocking tight ends. I don't know where we. I don't know.
You traded your tight end to New York here.
Anyway,
I don't know. I would like DeAndre Hopkins to be in a Baltimore uniform. That's just me. I'm going to say that because they need another weapon.
Yeah.
But I think that would, where he goes is going to make a team a ton better. Dude, when he goes to the Jets?
Oh yeah, I mean I can see that too. I mean you got Aaron Rodgers over there. He's gonna look real strange in a Jets uniform. I got to be honest, but yeah,
Aaron Rodgers is gonna look strange in a Jets uniform
that's
too.
That's what I'm talking about. Honestly, that's what I'm talking about. Rodgers. Yeah, because he's been wearing that Green Bay thing for too long. But in any case, yeah, I think that would be a good pickup as well. I mean the Jets are there to make some noise, man. In a division where it's completely open. I mean, who else you got? You got the Dolphins. And the Bills, and I think that's pretty much it. You just got to get
the Patriots.
They're not going to be good this year, man.
The Patriots of the East, not the Patriots of the West. Okay,
and unless Belichick gets a really really tight brawl going, I don't think he's going to be able to strap that thing up.
I love this. I love this.
He's not going to be able to strap that thing up high enough to get that team going. I can tell you that right now.
Oh, thank you. Speaking of teams, the NFL, we haven't had a chance to talk about the NFL schedule release because both of our teams were playing against each other during the time the schedule got released. So we gave two craps less because there was other things to worry about. But the NFL schedule has been released. Let's just start with your team. So
let's get it over with. Why not?
We both looked at your guys' schedule and was like, are they going to be able to win a game?
So if it wasn't bad enough that I'm talking about all this garbage about the coach and about the quarterback, maybe his foot is good, maybe it's not, maybe he's ready for the training camp, maybe he's not. All these ifs, ands, and buts about the Raiders. And then you look at their season and you start saying, you know what, this is beginning to look even worse somehow. All right, so we'll start off. They're going to play the Denver Broncos, which is fine. The Denver Broncos, I don't think, will be that good. Russell Wilson could come out and play very well.
They got a little better.
But unless he divorces Ciara, it's not going to be any good. He's going to be terrible. And so we're going to move on to the Buffalo Bills. We're going to get our butts handed to us by the Bills. They're a very good team. The Pittsburgh Steelers, they always play the Raiders very well every single season, so that's not going to be an easy game. The Chargers are also another good team. The Green Bay Packers, we could beat those guys. I don't even know who their quarterback is, so I think that's a win there. The New England Patriots, we better beat them. And then we get a couple of teams that. We get one more easy team. That's the Chicago Bears.
Yeah, I was about to say.
And then after that, the Detroit Lions look pretty damn good at the end of the season. Then we get the New York Giants.
They sure did.
The New York Jets. The Miami Dolphins. The Kansas City Chiefs. We get a bye week, and then we play the Minnesota Vikings. Anyway, I'm not done, folks. After the bye, we play the Chargers, the Chiefs. We get the Colts and the Broncos to end the season. But I'm looking at this schedule, man, and I'm just like,
oh my God!
Man. I really hope Jimmy G comes to play, man. I really hope Jimmy G is ready to suit up in a Raider uniform and not get sacked 5 times a game because.
Honestly, if he was looking at the schedule, he may just want to take the surgery and sit out. Oh my God.
Out of all those teams I named, there are maybe 3 to 4 winnable games on that schedule where I can look at and say definitively that, yes, the Raiders have an opportunity to win that game, but it's only like 3 games, man. Everything else is, I mean... You calling
it a 3-16 season? 3-15?
No, they got to be better than that. They got to. I mean, there's no way. They can't come off of the season last season and I don't even want to think about it anymore.
Look at this schedule here. They go to Miami.
Yes.
They go to the East Coast. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's too many 10 a.m. starts for you guys as far as the West Coast goes. Yeah. Dude, that's not looking good, man. Like,
well, I mean, it's bad enough we have to play the Chiefs 3 times. And twice. We have to play the Chargers twice and the Chiefs twice.
So there's 4 losses.
Shut up. And then we got and then on top of that, we got to play. We got to hope that the Broncos are bad so we can beat them 2 times. But then our out of division games are the Lions, the Giants, and who is it? Lions, Giants, Bears, and then the Jets are in the AFC, and and then Minnesota Vikings. So it's like you're not playing easy game. There are no easy games
y'all
on this
trouble.
schedule, man. It's not. I don't know, man. I'm not feeling very confident right now. That's all.
How many wins? Just throw. I mean, we'll do a full season prediction later.
Here's my prediction. The Raiders are gonna punt this entire season. They will have the top draft pick, and they will go after the USC quarterback next year. What's his name? Caleb. Whatever his name is.
Caleb Williams.
Caleb Williams next year in the draft. That's what the Raiders are trying to do. This season's over. Jimmy G's going to be one-legged by 3 games into the season. He's going to be a Raider. We're going to roll some other idiot out there. And we're going to get washed, bro. This is so bad, man.
I can't wait to watch that dumpster fire just blow up there. But
yeah, right there in Vegas where everybody can see.
Talk about my team schedule here. We open the season against the Texans, so that should be a dub. The Bengals, the second game of the year, they owned us last year, but Lamar didn't play. They get the Colts, the Browns, the Steelers. Those 2 teams are twice. The Lions, the Titans, the Cardinals, the Seahawks, the Chargers, the Rams, the Jags, the Niners, the Dolphins are the non-conference games.
The Ravens, not the Niners. You can't play yourself.
No. What you mean? Oh, did I say that?
Yeah, you said the Niners, the Ravens.
My bad. Yeah, man, this is a pretty legitimate schedule right here.
Yeah, but you guys, you got, the Seahawks had a, fairly good season, but I don't expect the Seahawks to repeat most of what they did last season, honestly.
I don't think so either, but they got the pieces to kind of maintain that Monday night game against the Niners at Levi's.
Oh, the Monday night game against the, wait, who? Which one?
Who else?
Well,
December 20.
I actually want to see, I think that's, wait, which one? September 21st?
September 21st. We don't play on the 21st.
Oh my God, he's fading us.
No, sorry.
He's dying.
What team are you referring to?
Dude, they play the Giants. I don't know if that's a Monday night game though, but it's 5:15. That might be a Sunday night game. You guys
the Giants? Who?
The New York.
We don't play the New York Giants.
Oh, you're talking about the Ravens. My bad, not the Niners. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm not talking about the Niners yet. I'm talking about the Niners.
My bad. Yeah, man. You guys have to play your own division, which is going to save your season anyway. We got to play.
Well, the only team we got to worry about is the Bengals.
Yeah, you got the Browns, the Steelers, the Commanders, and get to play those guys a couple of times a season. Yeah, I'm looking at your schedule. Let's just put it this way: I'm feeling better about your schedule than the Raiders' schedule. How about that?
I think you're going to favor anyone else's schedule besides your own schedule to say the least.
Yeah, for real. Seriously.
All right, let's talk about the Niners here. A lot of hype, a lot of big things, question marks coming in. They go on the road to Pittsburgh. Congratulations on starting the season. You get to go to Pittsburgh to start your season. The Rams, that's a win. Giants, I think that'd be a lot closer than people think. That's a win. They beat the Cardinals.
Cowboys, that might be a good matchup.
I would say that I think the Niners win just because they're at home.
Yeah.
They play the Dookie Browns. That's a win. The Vikings and Niners. Oh, that's in Minnesota too. That'd be a pretty close game.
Bengals. They play the Bengals. There you go.
Well, that's a really good matchup right there.
Yeah.
They got the Jaguars, the Buccaneers, the Seahawks again, and then the rematch with the Eagles. That'd be interesting. But the Eagles completely, I wouldn't say they mantled their team. They kind of changed it, to say the least.
Yeah.
And then the Ravens, and then the Commanders as well. I honestly think the Niners should only lose 3 games at most, right? When you look at the schedule.
Yeah, the thing with the Niners is the defense, man. If their defense continues to play as it has, I don't see why they can't win 12 games next season. So, yeah, man. Even against these teams that we think that they're going to have trouble with, the Bengals and who is it, the Vikings. Those are games that they can win. I mean, so yeah,
I think so.
Yeah, so yeah, I think they'll have a fairly good season, dude.
The grimace just came across my page. The internet's listening.
Trying to get you to buy some McNuggets.
I got Dino Nuggets in the freezer.
Oh, why would you tell on yourself? Why would you tell America that?
I'm not gonna tell them myself. Dude.
Dino Nuggets? You couldn't get. Look. Do they have to be shaped like dinosaurs?
I do. It was $5.99 for a box of Dino Nuggets. I was like, you ain't got to convince me twice.
Oh my god!
I'll tell you that. Nice little pick me up. Dude, if you go to McDonald's and you get yourself chicken nuggets, it is no different from eating Dino Nuggets.
But they're shaped like dinosaurs.
No, I'm not trying to hear all that.
Are you like play dinosaur? You playing a little quick game of Jurassic Park on your plate before you eat them, or what?
Bloodbath on my plate. No, I'm not that crazy, but it's not bad. Right. But hey. We got maybe we should work towards this, but Super Bowl 60 is coming back to the Bay Area. The Niners bid for the Super Bowl went through. The NFL accepted it. The Niners are also getting a $157 million makeover of Levi's. Whoa. For whatever that stadium needs a redo. I have no idea why. It doesn't make any sense. It's already state of the art. Yeah. It is very new to say the least. As far as stadiums
by
go.
then, Great America should be closed, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So
absolutely.
Why don't they just go build some stupid? What do these teams do now? They build like some type of center or, plaza or some crap like that. Put it right next door.
Might as well, but big job for the Niners there to get Super Bowl 60. As much as you Niner fans hated Levi's. Or they hated the fact that the Niners were leaving San Francisco, this is the reason why. Is because they're bringing the Super Bowl here twice.
Right.
The Niners have never hosted a Super Bowl, and now they're going to be able to do it 2 times. You got the World Cup being played at Levi's.
That's a big deal. That's a big deal.
That is a huge deal to get that.
It's the first time it's been stateside, and I can't even remember it being stateside. So, yeah, that's a big deal.
Yeah, and so to be able to host that, to be able to host some international soccer games as well, the fact that I even know that soccer's taking place, it blows my mind.
Oh, you're watching. Hey, we're gonna watch some World Cup games, man. Like I'm holding you to it, man. I'm not giving you an option. You're going to watch the World Cup the next time it goes around.
I'm ready for that baseball channel
next year. I'm gonna try. I'm doing my best.
We'll trade off on that one. But this is big. This is not only big for the Niners. This is big for the Northern California area. This is big for Santa Clara. This is going to generate a ton of money over the next few years, starting with the World Cup, because that'd be the first thing that gets here, and then obviously 6 years later will be the Super Bowl right after that. So. This is big for them to do what they did. I'm just trying to figure out what they're going to make over at Levi's. Like, how do you make over state of the art on top of state of the art?
Nah, they're just going to build some makeshift crap around it so people can have something to do. You know how they have to do all of that. Because remember, last time they held the Super Bowl in that stadium, all of the events were done in San Francisco. Like all of the parties and most of what was going on was happening in the city. Yeah. So I think they're going to try to transition all of that into Santa Clara near the stadium. So we'll see what happens.
They don't want to do it in the city right now because a bunch of doo-doo, syringes, all that other stuff.
Don't even get me started on that. Let me tell you something. When the homelessness problem really kicked up in Oakland, it was right after that Super Bowl. They were busing homeless people out of San Francisco and dropping them off in other cities. Okay, Oakland being one of them, and it was just so that they can have this big party and all that stuff they did on the pier and on the wharf, and dude, don't even get me started on that. So they'll just bust them out, clean up the doo doo, give them somewhere to stay for a weekend, and then that'll be it.
Oh man, that's gonna be tough. I don't know. You got anything else? Anything exciting?
No, man, nothing. I mean, tomorrow's Game 7, man. I'm going to be excited about that. And then, I think we'll get a chance to talk. We'll finally get the opportunity to tee up the NBA Finals. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yes. Yeah, we'll do a special. I think we'll do a special show night before the NBA
We can
Finals.
try to, yeah.
Get people hyped up for it. Who knows who we're gonna get? Denver's sitting on the asses right now, enjoying these two teams slug it out.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting there. So yeah, a lot of good things happening this week here, man. But yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, folks, we appreciate you joining us this evening. Again, if you haven't already, subscribe to us. Go ahead and click that like button on the video. We appreciate it. Click the notification buttons if you're a subscriber. All right, folks. Until next time, we'll see you later.
Latest.